This is driving ROI through conversational platforms. And we have the moderator for this is Karan Taurani, Executive Vice President, Media, Retail, Consumers and Internet, Elara Capital. Please give him a big round of applause. All right, we also have the panelists, Chavvi Malhotra, Strategic Sales Director, Vonage. All right, next up, we also have Manoj Nair, Senior Vice President, Growth, Digital Marketing and Martech, Shriram Finance. Please give him a big round of applause. All right, we also have Prashant Choudhary, Head of Marketing, Fino Payments Bank. Please give him a big round of applause. Shweta Srivastava, Vice President of Customer Operations, Mahindra Holidays and Resorts, India. All right, Manoj Nair is here. And Vikram Raichura, Founder and Managing Director, Helo.ai. Over to you, Karan.
Hello. Yeah. So great. We are going to discuss the broader landscape of conventional marketing, specifically on the recent changes because of AI. I think as a market, if you see, India is only expanding towards the programmatic ad spends. Globally, the share of programmatic is obviously higher. I think what's going to happen here is that we actually saw a phase wherein we were driving more of impressions. Now we are talking of ROS, ROI, LTV, all these kind of terms. And with AI, I think the efficiency of this ad tech ecosystem will only become more and more intelligent. So we'll discuss everything, where we were, where we are, and where is the future unfolding in this AI-first ad tech. So firstly, I have to start off with, this question is open to all the relevant panelists. I mean, what's changed in the last 1 year, specifically some initial signs around AI, but how do we see this entire conventional marketing be like a different thing over the last 12 months? What are the kind of innovations that we have seen? Any potential drivers for efficiency? I just open very briefly if anybody can speak and start off this one first.
Hello. Yeah. Thanks for the question. So I think we've seen AI among all our conversations, but what specifically we've noticed is, so given I come from Vonage, we power a lot of conversations, whether it's in messaging or voice. Specifically around voice, we've seen a lot of interest and use case-based solutions coming up which are targeting certain, for example, banking and collections. So there are use case-based solutions which are really driving the conversations rather than having one single agent solving for all. So that's been the change I've seen over the last 1 to 2 years. Maybe anyone wants to add?
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manoj, and I'm from Shriram Finance. I think to answer this question, we cater to the Bharat of India, correct? So predominantly there, so point number one, digital has changed or digital marketing has changed. Instead of looking at top funnel, all of us are looking at LTV and the conversion, correct? Second, AI, whether AI will solve for it, answer is, we still have to wait, because to cater to Bharat, the Varnak piece is yet to be cracked, and the colloquial language of customers, the way customer speaks and the understanding of the customer, emotion of the customer, those things still AI have to solve. That's my answer.
Hi, this is Prashant from Fino Payments Bank. So according to me, last 1 year, there have been a lot of changes. And in fact, as we speak, there are a lot of improvements that's happening in the AI as we know. Agentic AI is in place right now, and it is becoming common word than earlier LLM models to agentic. And of course, a lot of people have been trying to get their agents in place. One of the case, which is the recent news, which is Bajaj Finserv delivering about or generating 1,600 crores of business purely through AI, agentic AI, and a conversational model. I think that is the proof of the pudding, and we have just started. There's a lot to do and a lot more yet to see.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Shweta from Mahindra Holidays. I think if you ask me from my point of view, because I will look at it from customer experience point of view, more than a marketing or marketer, in last couple of years, in fact, we've listening to this AI buzz. When it started, it was very fragmented. We were looking at one touch point, one use case, maybe one cohort of customer, let's do some experiments. Now, the whole transaction element is transforming into relationship with, customers, wherein not only one use case or one, particular part of touch point, entire journey has been mapped with across all touch points. So I think that's a very positive, I would say, outcome of AI we've been using from last couple of years, where we are now looking at, engaging customers through these conversational platforms. So that's my point of view.
Hi, I'm Vikram from Helo.ai. So AI has helped us in being very, very efficient. With efficiency, we are able to take a lot of bets as marketers. Multiple number of bets and multiple number of A/B testings we can carry out, and then double down on whatever works, and that too automatically. And coming to the Bharat piece, AI is not just for the tier 1 and tier 2, it's for every part of India, every part of the world basically, because once the nuances of language are captured and delivered at scale, then there is nothing that stops AI from connecting with every individual across the board.
Right, so it's a very different perspective from each of the panelists across what they are seeing in their specific industry. So Chavvi, this question for you basically, what is a bigger monitorable here? So, conversion platforms or, marketing or AI-led initiatives, have they led to higher ROAS or have they led to a lower cost? What's your opinion on that?
That's a great question. So I think it depends on how you're approaching, but what we are seeing is revenue per conversation. Gone are the days when you've been targeting on the right channel, bringing the customer, but what next? You're again bringing them to a landing page, an app, a checkout mechanism. But what we've seen is a more seamless journey. So if you've been able to capture the customer, for example, if they are on WhatsApp, you're able to suggest them, walk them through, show them the options, be creative, and complete the sale very, very seamlessly. That's more like a, an ROI perspective, and that builds higher trust because you're able to engage the customer in their preferred channel. So I would say it's a balance of both, but revenue per conversation is what we are tracking, and that's where the industry is heading based on our interactions with our customers.
So you're saying that ROAS has largely moved up because of the efficiency of the engine.
It's being closely tracked now, how the conversion is from the conversation.
And any specific platforms wherein the ROAS is higher or lower, or in terms of efficiency, how are the platforms faring against each other?
That's a bit of a trap here. So when we work with customers across the globe, they come with very different objectives. So I'd love to share an example. We worked with a company called Holiday Pirates, and they actually moved from emails to more interactive channels like WhatsApp and RCS. And they did that testing, and they saw a massive result where they were able to increase 53% of their subscribers through WhatsApp, and even in some cases, 97% open rate. Another very interesting example, so RCS has been catching up, limelight, and it's been widely used and asked about. One of our customers in the Europe, so very interestingly, they've put the QR codes on the airport, so whenever somebody lands, they're able to just scan it, start the journey. Instead of downloading an app, they're able to book the cab and go through it. So it makes your life very, very seamless. They don't even realize there is a channel that they have to engage on. So that is how seamless the conversations have become. And again, you can then say ROAS, but it is also how seamlessly they've integrated in their daily way, the way they interact with the channels. Yeah.
Right. So Harshita, specifically, on this this entire thing of the insurance business part broadly, what exactly? Sorry, Shweta. So what in your business specifically, which is the lifestyle part, how has this efficiency-led conversational platform improved your business or probably given you more leads? Okay, so is it that tracking right now has become very easy because this is one segment where you probably track 100 people, but only 10 people will end up, purchasing a plan or doing something of this sort. So is your efficiency gone up because this is something which is not, maybe on a daily basis which I need, right? I need it on a discretion basis. So is this helping your business model in terms of generating higher sales, or you're targeting for that matter in your business model specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So since I'm from Mahindra Holidays, we are into business of selling memberships, and our customer is our members. They buy our membership for a very, very long time, starting from 5 years to it goes up to 25 years also. It's a very long time to be engaged with the brand. So we have that opportunity because member has already bought, right? So in terms of in the sales, you're asking for the sales funnel, right? So in terms of sales, we are using AI. In fact, we have been using in certain line of businesses. And there is an efficiency that we have seen. In fact, I will just share one of the use case that we have recently successfully delivered is for collecting annual subscription fee or collecting EMI from our customers, which is very seamless through agentic AI. Human-like bots are reaching out to our customers and giving a nudge which is required to get the payments in, and that has resulted into not only a good experience but also resulting into some cost saving. I normally don't talk about cost saving because I don't like this word, but we were able to get that also. So yes, of course, we are seeing efficiency building in, and I think it's about we keep trying and see what best work for our brands, and it aligns to our strategies.
Right, and in this entire spends that we are doing, the marketing spends towards driving more sales, Manoj, the question is on the customer acquisition cost. So how is the CAC, been in the last 2 to 3 years? Has it come off? Has it increased? And are we also looking at metrics more in terms of LTV rather than just CAC? What are the numbers over there indicating?
Yeah. So definitely the answer is CAC has increased because the cost of acquisition is increasing by all the digital channels, in fact Google, Meta and all. So yes, LTV is the goal the organization is driving, and that's where the efficiency gets built, and we achieve the ROAS, and also we retain the customer. So hence, one metric we very closely watch is product per customer. That's an important metric. Once the customer is inside, then how do we cross-sell different products? So that's the primary metric which we drive. Hence, LTV is an important metric for us.
Right. And again, as per you, which are the platforms which are the best in the lot, which gives you higher ROI or ROAS as per your assessment?
See, till now, from our standpoint in digital, Google is the platform. But at the end, what happens is that most of our products, especially in lending, it is a phygital model, correct? So hence, we look at a 360-degree approach, because it is always possible that digitally a customer is coming into the funnel, but he is converting at the branch, or the other way. So Google, yes, the efficiency is good, but it is a 360-degree approach. We look at all the channels, and we try to figure out which channel has contributed and where the conversion is happening.
So, Vikram, here specifically to get you on the conversations around AI, globally, or rather, India has mirrored global trends. We have seen how advertising took off in TV, traditional media, went on to search, social, then video, now maybe e-commerce, then maybe AI. So what is the relevance? What is the relevance of these platforms when things actually migrate to AI, firstly? And secondly, do you think AI actually will depend on advertising in a very big manner? Because ideally, if you look at globally, the cost of AI is so expensive that it's more going to be led by enterprises. But will we have a large portion of ad spends moving towards AI? And if that were to be the case, then what about the ROI on these platforms? What will exactly happen to the dynamics of the industry?
So what I understand is that we no longer have just a funnel. The funnels have migrated into journeys, and conversational AI is a touch point in that journey. Touch point is to create trust so that the transaction happens, and it's no longer I would urge the marketers to no longer see it just for the acquisition piece, but make it part of the entire journey, end to end, in the entire customer life cycle. Because when that happens, the trust increases, the comfort with the brand increases. As Manoj pointed out, that products per customer. How do you increase the penetration of products per customer? Because when you make his life comfortable for one purchase that he has done, that's when he is very, very open to another purchase. And coming to the budgets will not just be for the conversational AI piece, it will be across the journeys. As digital platform keep increasing the prices, or the competition is too high for certain keywords or phrases, that will funnel into the conversation. So you will see the cost rising, but the LTV also rising at the same time.
And what is the angle of agentic AI here? So I think with the advent of agentic AI, I may not need to converse that much with a platform or to know about the brand, because things will be automated beyond a point. So how will the role of agentic AI kind of give up on all these kind of tools that we are seeing?
So the role of agentic AI will be to create a seamless journey. It's no longer just a question and answer. It's about getting the work done for the customer as well. If a person is looking for a gold loan, the agentic AI would book an appointment for the store visit as well. So it's basically making the entire journey seamless, small nudges leading to big purchases.
And Prashant, on the voice-based part, you mentioned about Bharat and vernacular languages. How easy will this process become because of the adoption of AI? Conversing with the customers, knowing your customers more well, or driving higher conversion, specifically in the deep markets, which are like tier 2 and beyond kind of markets, right? How easy will this process become because of AI?
Right now, I will not bet entirely on the AI, honestly, in the market that we operate in, especially because I think empathy that is critical in the conversation, because conversation everyone knows and everybody loves conversation, right? Using complete AI right now, and AI is still yet to learn the empathy part, you know, like some of the dialect, as he rightly mentioned, because we serve Bharat, we understand the person who is perhaps within Maharashtra, the Nagpur has a different dialect than the Bombay guy, you know, Bombay person. So getting that correctly, you know, in the conversation, that is the key here. I would also like to point out the conversation helps where human efforts are more. The AI helps there. For example, how many times we have heard that a call center or a representative of a brand says, can we speak at 7 o'clock? No, sir, we end at 6. You know, this is the typical conversation that happens. Now 7 o'clock, who is speaking then? Because the customer is free at that time and you got to reach out to the customer. AI helps here. You know, that's point number one. Point number two, at the same time, if we start tagging the customers, someone who is comfortable with the AI conversation, someone is not, you know. Even that kind of tagging, if we start doing at the back end, I think that will help in a long run. So which customers responds well? And this is the short-term solution. Of course, the AI is getting better, as I mentioned earlier. As it gets better, the customer perception and the the action would be more proactive towards the AI, you know. So I think that's what matters. In terms of the conversions, yes, we see that conversion to an extent. So for example, some of the top of the funnel activity, we trying to do we are trying to implement this. The key metrics for us is the incremental revenue that we generate, or incremental numbers that we achieve as against the spend on the AI. If that incremental, that justifies it, well, it's working well. And that's what we are trying to get there. How do we make that sure?
And what about data privacy in these smaller markets? What is your opinion on that? I mean, are customers more receptive on sharing data, or, you know, I mean, there are some features of allow, disallow in terms of advertising, because that will eventually impact your efficiency and ROAS and ROIs. What is the view on data privacy of this customer cohort?
That's a pretty huge topic actually, because if you look at DPDP Act, I'm sure there are many of us are still clueless what the DPDP Act says and how does it interpret, you know, so to say. But India as a country, I am, and this is my personal opinion, that we disregard privacy. Okay, we as people disregard privacy. And I'm not talking about people who are sitting in Bandra West, I'm talking about the Bharat, yeah, and the entire. And this is my personal observation. I might be wrong, and there are exceptions, of course. However, at the same time, I must state this fact that I have seen increased awareness towards the privacy, starting with the metros and the tier 1 towns and so on and so forth. Because people are figuring out, like, for example, I'm just gonna give you one example. Everyone here has a smartphone, I'm sure, all right? And everyone has an average of 10 apps on the smartphone, right? How many of you, and you can raise a hand, how many of you have even checked 50% of the apps and their permissions? One. That answers the privacy concern, right? Now, and we are all literate, and the postgraduates and the PhDs and all of that, right? So you can imagine the guy in the village, okay? So, but it's our job, it's our duty to make them aware of these privacy concerns, because that also leads to the frauds and the scamming and all of that. Because I belong to a bank, and we see this every day happening, we live through it. there is a huge focus, and that's why even the statutory bodies like RBIs and everyone else are behind us. That's okay, we need to increase our awareness. And we do that with every campaign. Probably there might be a reason that we don't do a cross-sell or upsell campaign, but we are very regular in doing our awareness campaign because we want our customers to be safe and secure. It's not about their money, it's about the trust that they have on the bank, on Fino, or any other bank for that matter. And that's where we need to make them aware of.
Anyone else in the panel who can add this? So specifically, we are going to see implementation of the DPTP bill coming in the next, I think, 6 to 12 months. We've given some cool-off time to gather data. And after there will be hefty penalties on companies or platforms who don't implement it. What are the implications of this on your conversions, on your marketing campaigns? And obviously, India people are not privy to privacy. I mean, they do give the permissions because they want targeted advertising eventually. But how could this be a spoil sport in your campaigns?
I don't think it would be a spoil sport because today also, as rightly pointed out, any financial institution, for example, Shriram Finance is audited by RBI and we are a regulated entity. And our audits go for close to 6 months in a year, which means only 6 months we are not audited. Okay, other 6 months we are completely audited. The RBI person is sitting along with us and audit. So hence data privacy is a key point, and we have to, as I talked about product per customer or LTV, it's an important piece, correct? If one customer is not satisfied and he raises a complaint, not only regulator, but we lose the customer also. Hence, some of those pieces of DPDP Act is already in place. Only point here is it has to be structurally put into place with a lot of consent mechanism, storage, all those nitty-gritties which specifically the regulator is asking. Otherwise, I don't think much impact will be there. See, one example, say for example today, a lot of you have been using fintech apps or any apps, correct? By default, when you have a need, you give a consent for account aggregator. It's a very big consent because you are sharing the data with that institution so that the institution can give you whatever product or anything, right? So hence, by default, the customer is giving the consent and customer is also aware of to an extent. And that awareness, as Prashant rightly pointed out, organization's responsibility that we have to give the awareness to the customers, and customers as to a bit, customers is also aware. Answer is not much impact would be there.
Right, and as per you all, I mean, what are the kind of campaigns or what are the kind of customer journeys that will require human intervention, and what are the kind of things that will actually be driven by AI and bots going ahead? Any views on that?
Yeah, I think it's a great discussion on, what can be done through AI and what cannot be done. So I'll take it in the context of hospitality industry from where I come from. Very clearly there are 4 parts of the journey. One is the pre-booking, which is when, we go in the market, acquire a customer, and then, tell them about our offers that they can, leverage. There, I think AI is playing a major role for us, where the simple questions, reservations, related offers, all of that we are able to communicate through AI, through agentic AI, where the conversation happens with the customer and it can be easily, solved. So pre-booking is, I think, sorted largely. Then the second stage comes where you have a booking and there's an opportunity to upsell. I will say largely this is also now taken care of. There is something called digital concierge now, where when you have a booking, you can, use agentic AI to upsell, and you can, kind of suggest flight bookings, you can suggest airport transfers, you can suggest whole lot of other things that a customer may need apart from the hotel booking. So there also, I think, but it's a very important part of the journey where you are getting more revenue because you've already got the customer in. Now it's your time to get more revenue by selling or upselling, cross-selling, other things. Then the third for us is very critical, which is in resort stay, when guest is staying with us, right? I think it is, people don't realize that much. It is largely underappreciated, but a lot can be done in the resort itself, right? When your guest is staying, you can engage the guest from the time guest has checked in to check out, using, your conversational AI. But in a resort setup, you also have this, thing of people. There's a physical presence of resort staff who can also take care of it. So it's partial here, where, few of the things you can do through AI, where there's a nudge you can create throughout the, stay. But you also have to, do it if there's any service failure, if there's any complaint, you have to act fast. Then you need an agent, human agent to take care of it. And the last part is your post-stay engagement. I think this is where we know whether we have won or we have lost, right? That's like a report card, because then the survey goes and we take feedback, and then we come to know what are the actions that we have to take. While some of it can be taken care by AI, actions, what needs to be done, all of need human, intervention. So if I summarize these 4 stages, first one is completely to be taken care of AI. If we want, we can do that. At the second stage, it is largely done, which is, when there's a booking and we can upsell and cross-sell. At the third stage, it is largely physical, or it is largely, you have to, you need human presence to solve, and if anything goes wrong when guest is staying with us. And the fourth is post feedback, post stay engagement. There also it's 50-50. So if I have to just recap, your reservation, bookings, check-in, check-out date, feedback, etc. can be done through AI. But if there is a group booking, there is a wedding that you have to plan, there's a group booking that you have to plan, there's a service failure, all of that still requires human touch in a hospitality industry. So
I think by a conversation, close to 60% of the process can be handled by AI broadly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can use AI and we can see the result. It was still in experimentation phase for most of it. But yes, we're seeing some early results.
And do you believe this can improve with time? I mean, the efficiency of this can this 60-70 go to 80-90, or can this become half also if the results are not good? What is the risk over here?
It depends on process to process, which process is giving you what ROI and what customer satisfaction. Based on that, the system also will keep learning, because it's AI, it's the base of machine learning. And once you start optimizing these things, you start tweaking everything, you will see that some processes will be 100% AI driven, and some would be largely human in the loop, and some would be just 20% AI. As she rightly pointed that if there's an issue, you need a human first. You can't send the AI to solve the problem. That's all.
Can I just add?
Yeah.
So I will not name the brand. I was just browsing their site, and it's a hotel brand. And I got a call yesterday, agentic AI, because I am in the business, so I know it. And she said that I am Ananya, and hello, and can I help you with, you went on our site, can I help you with reservation? She asked a couple of questions. So when I said my check-in date is 10th August, agentic AI couldn't catch that. I don't know why. And I said it 3 times. And it repeatedly said, okay, 15th August, instead of understanding 10th August. So these things sometimes, cracking in between, that we need to really take care of. Though it looks very straightforward, that what is a check-in date, what is a checkout date. Sometimes, the Ananya couldn't catch. Ananya is not human here. Ananya is agentic AI.
Ananya is one of the most popular names for AI, yes.
Yeah, I know. And I wanted to add to this. So I think there are a couple of I mean, pointers when we look at agentic AI and how it's scaling. It is very important that 3 points, which is memory, context, and the ability to really act and not just react. So maintaining that context, which I think Ananya couldn't really do that, I think that's very, very important. That would decide how seamless it is that we are not able to identify whether it's AI or human. So that is very critical to decide that percentage that you asked, whether it'll go up or it'll go down.
Obviously, I think as things evolve, these systems also become smarter with time, and the percentage of errors will also, kind of come down. But just, in one line from all of you all, any kind of advice that you would like to give marketers for the next 3 years? How can conversational, led targeted advertising improve your ROI? Just in one line from all of you all.
So I'll start. So basically, don't look at just the acquisition piece. Look at conversational AI across the entire journey. And brands need to somewhere stop selling and start supporting and enabling their customers. The more they do that, the more the business will increase, rather than just focusing on selling.
I'll copy that. I think move from transactional management to relationship management. Engage rather than targeting a right audience. Engage with your right customers. That's how I will look at it.
Okay, so mine is little unorthodox suggestions, not from a marketing point of view though. Point number one here, 3 years in marketing, hell lot of things can change and it will change. Okay, perhaps we may not have a job as a marketer. Okay, we may be called something else, I don't know. Having said that, the advice would be AI is everywhere, including the boardrooms till the floor. Everyone is talking about AI, some form or other. What you would be asked to justify the cost of AI. So start optimizing it. Start looking at the tokens or the cost that you are spending on, say, whatever models that you are using, and start optimizing for that. Because somewhere down the line, your CFO or a finance guy is going to ask you, okay, you're spending so X amount, and we have 10 people at 10,000 rupees salaries, okay, why you're spending so much in AI? So you need to answer that. And that's where the critical difference, I guess.
Definitely that has to be answered. So my point here is we should look at AI as a new team member within your team or within your organization. Why? Because AI comes with its own understanding, its own learnings, because it is a model which has been trained in some data. It doesn't know our data or your organization's data. So that has to be trained and it has to be optimized. So example, from a marketer standpoint, most of you know who handles marketing. Performance Max as a Google campaign is there, correct? It will work only if it has been fed with the right kind of data, and it takes time. Otherwise, it doesn't, correct? Similarly, AI also will work when it gets to know about your data, your customers, what is the context of the customer, what is the customer preference, who is the customer, and it will take some time to eventually learn and understand that, and that's what my answer would be. Thanks.
I would say look it from a perspective that conversation is the funnel. If you're innovating in the space, build with trust. I'm sure everyone is in a race to build and innovate in the space, but make sure it's conversational. Look at journeys such like the apology journey, where a bad experience can really turn it into a delight. Those are the critical pieces which we need to figure out. And the last but not the least, revenue per conversation, as I mentioned earlier. That's very, very important.
Yeah, I think the most interesting piece was the ROI from AI. I think that is the most important, because that's a dilemma where we can't solve, but with time we'll hopefully get an answer to that as well. So we have time for 2 questions. If any questions, kindly raise your hand. We can take a couple of questions. Yeah. The lady there. There.
Hi, I'm Ria. I had a short question, which is basically now AI has evolved in giving product recommendations, links to if you're asking a question, right? Say I'm looking at, okay, I want to buy some new shoes. And then I say, okay, I want to buy, shoes in my budget, which is say within 1,000 for rainy. And then I get 3-4 links, which are directly giving me to the websites, the price and everything. So is this a part of the conversational platform and ROI where person comes from there directly buys the product or not buys the product, whatever that is? So is that a part of your conversational platforms? It's for the whole panel. Anybody can answer.
Yeah, it starts with the conversational. It does not start with a search query. It's a conversation that the user has with the GPT or something, and it leads to the website. So as I said earlier, it's no longer a funnel, it's a journey. So the conversation can be the enabler or it can be the decider. That's how.
Yeah. One more question.
I think. Right then. Thank you so much for this amazing panel discussion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a big round of applause.